Welcome to Thailand. My name is Jenny Bloom, and welcome to Koh Phangan, this bungalow that I'm staying in. And the practice today that I'm going to introduce you to is called Bhastrika. Bhastrika is a technique that helps to bring unconscious aspects of ourselves to light so that we can release patterns that are no longer really serving us, that we're not actually aware of. So Bhastrika is a breathing technique, and we're going to use it in the context of a meditation practice. So in the practice, I'm going to demonstrate the technique, and I'll tell you each of the different steps as we go along. This practice can be done at the beginning of a practice. It can be a practice in itself, or it can be done at the end of an asana practice. You can do your asana practice, and then after you've completed that, meditate, or you can meditate and then do an asana practice, or you can just meditate. It's based on what works for you. So this practice is specifically about bringing what is in the unconscious spaces into the more conscious spaces. And what's powerful about meditation is that, unlike therapy or some sort of modality where you're just talking about what's going on that's upsetting to you, this technique allows you to shift your energy so that instead of being stuck in a pattern that is making you really unhappy, or stuck in a pattern that is making you so happy but feels kind of unbalanced, it could be either one. This practice helps you to actually come inwards so that the energy, your core energy, can move up and beyond the place where we're engaged in the world of the senses, or the place where we're engaged with our lower self urges. And it brings us into a communion with that which is beyond our mind, so that we can merge with the unbound force, the unbound potential of the universe, if you will, as my teachers call it. So, what we're going to do in the practice today is we're going to do Padadirsasana, which is a practice that balances the right and the left hemispheres. We'll bring the hands, we'll cross the forearms, bring the hands underneath the armpits, and then allow the forearms to rest on the armpits. And this is an overview, so I'll tell you what we're going to do, and then we'll do it together. We'll breathe into our chest, and if you don't feel the breath in the chest, do a little bit of a seated cat-cow, moving the pelvis forward and back. And we'll really tune in to feel which side of the chest is puffing up more. If it's the right side that's puffing up more, then you'll take the hand that's under the right armpit out and let that hand rest so that the breath can move into the left side of the chest. And then once you feel the breath starting to balance, you can bring the right hand underneath. And if you feel that the left side of the chest is puffing up more than the right, you can remove the left hand and let that hand rest on your thigh. And then when you start to feel the breath is balancing, you can bring that hand underneath. And we'll take a couple of breaths here. And here we're really just trying to allow the breath to come in and balance in the right and the left sides of the chest. First we'll do Padadirsasana, and then we'll practice Bhastrika. Bhastrika is a breath that activates the root, so the point between genital anus at the base of the spine. And it's a short exhale. So the inhale just comes in, and then it's a short exhale, and as you exhale, the pelvic floor comes up to allow the breath to just pop out. For example, you'll see my belly is like moving, and you'll feel movement. The exhale, you're allowing the pelvic floor muscles to activate and press the breath up. And we'll do that for 27 short, sharp exhales. And then we'll take a lock. We'll bring the thumbs into the point right in front of the front hip hip crease and let the thumbs just rest in there, and we'll clamp all of this wonderfulness at the lower belly with the fingers. And we'll take after the Bhastrika, we'll take an inhale, bring the thumbs in the inner hip points, clamp the belly, all with the eyes closed, and bring the head up and down until there's straining, and then we'll release the breath. Bring thumb and second finger to touch, and allow movement up. And we'll sit to allow that energy to come up so that we can merge with that unbound field. And that will be our meditation today. And then after we merge, we'll reground through the energy centers, Artavatva Samyama, to bring that energy back into our being, into our chakras, so that we can move easefully in life and dance with our karma, as my teacher Alan says. We all have karma. Karma is the force that makes the universe come into being, that makes us come into being. And instead of fighting our karma or looking at someone else and saying, oh, why do they have it like that and I have it like this, or any number of ways that we can really just be upset with how the world is. What this practice allows us to do is it allows us to reset our own world and bring what is unconscious into light, so that the energy that is unbound can inform us, so that we are inspired in our lives, so that we find ease with whatever our circumstances are. And the great part about this practice is you don't have to believe me at all. You just can try it for yourself. So contraindications for this practice: if you have a lot of anxiety, you'll want to do just the Padayursasana. Not advisable if you're pregnant to do Bhastrika of heating up the low belly. So you can also just do Padayursasana and come into the meditation with us. And also, if you're pregnant or if you have anxiety or a lot of movement and it's too much movement, you can do Padayursasana with us and then come into your meditation and bring your energy here. And I'll present other videos that are for pregnancy, meditation for pregnancy, meditation for anxiety. This technique is specific for people who are experiencing a lot of unconscious emotional stuff that feels very hard to deal with. This practice really allows you to come into a way of dealing with it. So let's start the practice. Come into a comfortable seat. You can sit cross-legged like me, or you can sit in hero's pose. Either way, whatever is comfortable for you. You can also do this in a chair. So I will go through the practice and direct you in the practice. The only way this works is if you try it. So I invite you to try it with me. And if at any point you feel too much energy moving for you, you feel lightheaded or unsafe at all, pause, bring thumb and second finger to touch and press into the sternum, right at heart center. Bring up the first and second finger, thumb and second finger to touch, and just pause. You can even bring your chin in slightly and let your energy adjust. So let's start the practice. Come into your comfortable seat, bring your palms to touch, let your head bow slightly. When we bring the palms together, it allows right and left hemispheres of the brain to draw towards the central line. It brings us inwards. Pratyahara, sense withdrawal. Set your intention here to explore within the inner kingdom. And then slide your right hand underneath your left armpit, your left hand underneath your right armpit, and relax the forearms. And slightly press into that point underneath the armpits. And allow the breath to come into the chest. If you don't feel the breath coming into the chest, as you inhale, tip the pelvis forward. Draw the breath into the chest. As you exhale, tip the pelvis back. Feel the back body. Inhale, tip the pelvis forward. Feel the breath filling up the front of the chest. Exhale, tip the pelvis back. Back of the chest. And then just let yourself feel the breath in the chest, having drawn the breath into the chest. Notice if one side of the chest is puffing out more than the other. And if you're noticing that, you can remove the hand underneath the side of the chest puffing out more. Continue to feel the breath. Rebalancing. And draw that hand you took out underneath so it becomes the underneath hand. And follow the breath a few more rounds. When you feel the breath balancing between right and left sides, you can lower the hands down, bring thumb and second finger to touch. Notice the effect of the technique. Now we'll practice Bastrika. 27 short inhales and exhales. Inhale, feel the lower belly fill up with air. Exhale short, drawing up of the pelvic floor. The inhale naturally comes in. The exhale is a tightening in the pelvic floor as the breath evacuates. Slowly slow down the breath. Take a deep breath in. Bring the thumbs to the inner hip points. Clamp the lower abdomen. And hold the breath. Retain the breath. Bring the chin down towards the chest. Feel the energy moving up the spine. And still holding the breath. Let the chin come up towards the sky. Another couple times like that. Chin to the chest. Chin towards the sky. Whenever you need to release the breath, release the breath. Exhale. Bring thumb and second finger to touch. And feel inside your body. And moisten a finger. Press the point between the eyebrows and half an inch up. And lower that hand down. Soften the roof of the mouth. Relax the eyes. Relax the jaw. energy draw up between the eyebrows. Release all efforting. Soften your forehead. Let the energy draw up and in. Quiet for about a minute. Just feel what happens inside you. If you get distracted or drawn out, just tap again that point between the eyebrows. Thumb and second finger to touch, stretch through the arms. Do nothing. Just observe. The energy back into your system correctly. Bring the tongue to the roof of the mouth and gently slide your thumbs over your fingers. Notice the heat in your system. Bring the tongue back behind the upper gum line to the teeth and separate your palms 1/2 inch apart. Feel that heat between your palms. Tejas, magnetism. Bring the palms up over the eyes and let this magnetism, your personal magnetism, pour into your eyes, into your brain, healing your brain. And bring the palms to touch at the eyebrow center and welcome this all knowledge back into your system. Setting the intention to recharge your command center with unbound potential, receiving unbound potential. Bring the palms over the eyes, drag the palms down the face, behind the neck. Massage the tops of the shoulders. Bring one hand over the other in front of the throat center to reground, rebalance your communications, hearing and listening. Om Aim Saraswati Namaha. Om Aim Saraswati Namaha. Om Aim Saraswati Namaha. Drag the palms down the chest to in front of the heart. And feel for the warmth at the heart center. The warmth behind your palms. Let the palms touch and send this energy out through your space, loving for no reason at all. Set that intention. Bring the hands down to the navel center to balance your knowledge at the cellular level. And then to the point right below the low belly to balance your likes and your dislikes. And then point the fingertips to the pubic bone, thumbs tip at the top to create solidity in the structures of your life and your relationships. Then bring the thumbs to the tops of the hip crease between torso and leg to remove any karmic obstacles from your karma and your dharma. And then press down the thigh top of the thigh, side thigh, back of the thigh, unwind the legs. And press towards the knees, around the knees, and then the shins, point by point. Hold the ankles tight. And then bring your thumb down from the heel to the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, other foot. Heel to the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Balance out your knees, point and flex your feet. Then come to lie down for Shavasana and rest after all your good work.